Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and this week is looking like a very strange week. That we've got these crazy winds coming up. So like we're gusting like 35 knots, sometimes 40. So it's very bouncy here on the boat. But the hope this week is to continue on with the engine work. I made a call last week that I didn't like the solution. I don't like the solution with the pump putting these fittings on. Things just keep falling off. Anyway, I don't like this. It's untidy and I'm not happy with it. So I've actually dropped it off at a friend's place and asked him to braze me on 2 flange fittings so that I don't have like a manifold fitting, because it's just 2 more places where things can leak. These holes don't line up. Awful situation. I'm not a big fan. Further to that, I'd like to finish up that over there, which is next to the one hatch. Let me show you. I repaired that not too long ago, so now I need to do this top piece over there. It needs to be glued in place, and it's going to need a few days so that I can fair it, paint it, and then get that final porthole, not hatch. We get that done. And then some very long router bits have arrived, and they are so that I can finish the sides of the main hatch. And the reason I want to do that is because I want the lip of the hatch to fit in with a small gap so that I can put a nice veneer in to make it all look a little bit nicer. Let's see how far we get this week with those jobs. The main goal though is to start the engine. And if I can get that done this week, I'll be very happy. Alright, since we were last in here, a few things have changed. This has been cleaned somewhat. I've done a little bit of spraying over some areas. I've started de-rusting the mounting. This was very badly corroded, and I still need to do some more work. But I didn't want to leave it like that. I wanted to get a coat of paint on there. I am, however, still waiting for a solution to correctly mount the pump. This is obviously one of those things that I want to get right once, because I don't want to be in here constantly. I've also discovered that this thing's been leaking diesel. I think this pipe is just slightly too big. Yeah. So this has been dripping. So I need to solve this before I start the engine. I'm sure I replaced these like a year ago. I don't know what's happened to this. Maybe it's the wrong pipe and it can't handle the fluid. Like diesel's been eating away it. It's very wobbly. It wasn't like this before, whereas these are a little bit harder. So I need to replace that. I don't like that. I don't like diesel dripping everywhere. I get quite annoyed when things are filthy. And what I've been using to spray things at the bottom is this Rust-Oleum protective enamel. Probably not the right thing. We'll see what happens when the engine get hot. The other white stuff is also a Rust-Oleum product, but it's a heat product, so it's actually okay. That's all I had, and it's just because I wanted to get something on there, and I didn't have the other one. Alright, let's see if I can do a little bit more de-rusting. These little multi-tools are great for this job. So that's not properly cleaned yet, but it looks way better. So these multi-tools are fantastic for dealing with rust in sections like that. Next, I'll come through with a bit of a sort of a de-ruster, bit of soap and water, and a little metal brush. And then once I've degreased the whole thing, I'll spray it and coat it for a couple of more years, and I won't have to think about it, hopefully. Probably have to replace all of the engine mounts at some point, although those ones still look pretty good. Now that all the gunk is off, they actually don't look too bad. A view into the other cabin. We could even go a little bit thicker, just a tad. One more splodge. That'll do. Now with a little bit of thickened epoxy, I'm just filling in the little gaps to try and get it level. I will do some fairing over this, probably only tomorrow. Let this thing dry, I'll sand it, and yeah, not the best repair ever. Honestly, to do this job properly, I would have had to cut the side of the coach roof off and actually put a whole new piece of wood in, but that was way more than I was willing to do. Right, so here's the final piece of the puzzle. This repair should be done now. Should be good. What needs to happen now is that needs to dry, and then I need to come and sand it. I might need to fair a little bit, prime it, top coat it, and then I'm just about ready to fit the final porthole on this side. Hey guys, it is the next day, and last night was a hell of a storm. This entire side ripped right apart. Not great. It was going to anyway. It just means we may have to accelerate the work in the doghouse and move that ahead. This that we did yesterday has now dried, and I'm going to do a little bit of fairing along the top there. I'm just about to mix that. Alright, that'll do for now, but I do still have some left, so let me go outside and do a couple of bits where I know this would be useful. Unfortunately, that's all I have time for this week. So that's been done quite nicely. If you have a look, it's dried. It needs to be sanded and a little bit more fairing added, and then I need to prime it. The engine thing we're not going to do this week. I'm still waiting for it to come back from engineering. It's not going to be brazed, as it turns out. It's just going to get threaded so that I can screw in flange fittings. So that's how the week ended. That's okay. We do whatever we can do in the time that we have allotted, and each day a little bit more progress. So I'll see you all next week. There might be another video squeezed in between because something's come up, but I will post that and it'll be there whenever it's there. Thanks guys for watching. I will see you all next week. Bye bye.